As you see from the title, we did about $29,000 in approximately 7 days with this store. And I'm gonna refresh the screen just so you can see. And what I want to do is show you guys how this was possible and how we made it happen by looking at it as like we're looking at film. And I want to break this down to a beginner level for you to understand and see if you can replicate this yourself. And I got the back end where the ads manager, where we can look at the ads manager and make sure everything's spent. So we spent about like 17K to make about 30K, about close to 2x ROAS. And yeah, let's go ahead and get right into it. But I have my screen on this right hand side to kind of break this down because we did this in 4 stages. Okay, my goal is to break down these 4 stages so you can understand how to make this happen. And we actually went out to make this like $65,000 with the store, but let's break this down going into stage number 1. So whenever you are testing out or running ads or just marketing in general, your audience is in 3 levels. So you have we can all understand this. So we're at the same level. We got our cold audience. That's just people that don't know who we are, like cold calling, cold email, cold DMs. Like they just don't know who we are. They've never seen our ad, never seen our product, never seen our name, nothing like that. So completely cold. Then we have our warm audience. These are going to be people that have seen us before, seen our ad, have seen our Instagram, seen our Facebook, haven't went to our website just yet, but they know who we are. Like they're warm, they understand us, and they've seen us before. And then we have our hot audience. These are people that have went to our website but just haven't bought just yet. Like they've been there, they may have added cart, maybe checkout initiated, but just didn't purchase just yet. So that's our hot audience. Now, everything I'm going to talk about today is going to be from our cold audience. So this is all direct response. So people that first time seeing it and we just get that impulse buy. So whenever we're in stage 1 of running ads, we're testing out like 2 things mainly. We're testing out interest to see what type of interest work well for our product. So with our cold audience, we're going based off of what we think our product would do well in. So if I pull up the product page so you guys get a good idea, this is an advent calendar. So this is around Christmas time, and we know like this is a very like how I do. If you watch any of my YouTube videos, how I set up product pages is exactly how. And this is the page. So whenever we're thinking about our cold audience, we're thinking of interests that go well with this. So what we was thinking of was like WWE, like Fortnite. We know families, like if these are like a family tradition, like if they have families, they probably do like fast food. Um, we got more things. We think whenever we're thinking of interest, we're thinking of what those people are doing. Like what's their day-to-day thing? Like what TV shows are they watching? What car are they driving? What hobbies do they have? What are their kids into? What events are they going to? Like sports. They might be into, like Six Flags, you know we're thinking of those type of interests. Of course, we always do like an open, like we just let Facebook figure it out for us. But this is what our cold audience is. We're just testing out interest to see what works and what doesn't, because where our main thing is gathering data. And our goal, whenever we're running our first ad with our website, we're trying to get a low cost per link click, which means get people to our website for a cheap rate. So getting people to our website for a cheap rate, which is like $2.50 or less. So we're trying to get people to click that shop now button on our ad, which I'll show you. And then to see if we can get any buyer's intent, which is AKA like add to carts and purchases. So that's stage 1. We're trying to see what interests work. We're trying to see if we have a good ad, basically, if people are coming to our website based off our ad, and seeing if we're getting any buyer's intent that people come to our website and actually add to cart or purchase. Okay? So let's go ahead and look at how we did that. So this is, once again, we do that. This is going to look very crazy, but I'm going to filter it real quick so you guys don't get too overwhelmed. we're going to filter it based off our cold audience. So if I go to the cold audience campaign real quick, stick with me. I promise you by the end of this, hopefully you have a good idea of how this went. Let's go to the first day we ran the ads. So the first day we spent about like $176. We was testing out pretty aggressively. But as you see, we tested out interests like fast food, Xbox, Nintendo, Naruto. We tested out we keep, we did an open, we did Sonic, we did collectibles, we did pizza, we did GameStop. So we're just testing, testing, testing. That's what you're doing in the beginning. That's stage one. We're testing to see what works. We're testing to see what gets buyer's intent. We're testing to see what gets the lowest cost per link click, which is basically the cost for someone to click on that buy or shop now button on our ad. So here's what that ad looked like, so you guys get an idea. And what we're testing is to see how much it costs for someone to click this shop now button. Okay, that's our goal. That's our main goal and our main thing that we're looking for. So that's what we're doing. And this is why it's important to test multiple interests whenever you're doing this, because you see how this fast food had a $1.89 cost per link click. So that means like that audience resonates this with this ad. But you see Xbox cost per link click was like $5. That means that audience wasn't really rocking what we're giving them or putting in front of them. So this is why it's super important to test out multiple interests, because you may think if you see like a high cost per link click, you're like, dang, my ads suck or my products suck. Like, no, it's your interest. You target the right interest, you'll get the good results. So that's basically what we're doing in this. And as you see, we tested out a good amount, but anything that had a higher cost per link click of $2.50, we turned off quick. So we see that this had $6.44. Boom, cut that off. And that's the open. So open is whenever we let Facebook, hey, here's my ad, go ahead and find people for me. But as you see, that didn't work out as well. You see Sonic didn't do as well. $6.40. It's like, oh, dang. That's why we test out multiple interests. You really would think that the product is bad, but it's really just your interests that are bad. Because you see, in that time frame, we found out what worked and what didn't. So we see fast food, and Naruto did well, had a pretty good. But these are the ones that got our buyer's intent though. Xbox, Nintendo, and fast food. So based off those interests, we're thinking of more. So I think we had got just one purchase in this time frame though. If I go back, yeah, 14th to the 15th. Yeah, only one purchase in that time frame. So we're like, we need to make a change. So what we did, and this is going to be like very, very helpful for anyone that's watching, because whenever you're running ads, you're testing out one, we see that the ad is doing pretty decent. Like we're seeing the cost per link click is decent. It's below 250. So we're not trying to change the ad. We see that people are coming to the website. We got some added cards. So we're getting some added cards, but people are not buying. So what we did was originally we was selling this product for $24.99 with free shipping. So that means if people, it's free shipping. But what we did just to test it out, we're like, okay, let's see if we can make a change. So instead of doing free shipping, we did $19.99, and that's why you see it at the front end. That's what we ended it off with, $19.99, and we did plus $4.99 shipping. So then it came out to like the same amount, or we did $6.99 shipping, one of the two. Came out to the same amount, but let's see how it performed. Let's go ahead. So remember, in that time frame, we only did one sale, and we spent the cool amount. We spent 176. We was like, oh man, I don't know. We're gonna do this product real quick. Hold on. But this is where that expertise come into play. And as we see, if we go to the 16th, we go from making only one sale in 2 days to the next day making that change of getting 6 sales in that day. And all we did I mean, all we did was change the offer from instead of $24.99 and free shipping, we made it $19.99, and we did free shipping on like the our second offer. So it made it to where people will buy more than just one, while also like get people to buy more. So it was really a super big play, and that's how your offer plays a big role into really getting purchases. So we made that change and we seen the results of it. Oh, we knew like if we go to just that day alone, we spent $61 on ads and got and got and got six purchases. We spent $176 on ads and only got one. So as soon as we knew that change was good, this is exactly how we turned it up. So once we got past stage one, which is what I just went over, which is where we test out our interest to see what type of interest is working. And we test to see if our ad, to see if we have like a good cost per link click, to see if people actually like the ad. And then we see like the buyer's intent, people are actually like buying and purchases. We now go into stage two. Now we know that people are buying this product. We got a good cost per link click. We're getting buyer's intent. People are buying the product. Now we just do more interest based off of what we identify that's working. And this is what we call a horizontal scale. So I got you. I'm giving this breakdown. A horizontal scale, this is in stage two, where we're testing more interest based off what we found that works. Okay, so let's say, for example, we had an interest that did well was pets. Pets did well. What other interests are surrounded by pets? We can do like pets. We could do like cats. We can do dogs. We can do fishes. We can do, so we start testing more interests like pets. You know what I'm saying? So that's how we do our horizontal scale to find more interest. And our goal behind doing this horizontal scale is to find something that works. Okay? And what we categorize as working is something that gets 3 purchases and has a good return on ad spend. So 1 purchase is like, oh yeah, that's cool. Like, oh, they liked it. 2 purchases is like, oh yeah, like, okay, this is not bad. That's not a fluke. But 3 purchases on an ad set lets you know that this is working out really well. But in this case, our the ad account wasn't collecting all the data, so we had to do some other ways of getting it. But we see that this was working motherhood, baby food, because we was doing our horizontal scale. We was targeting more like Harry Potter. We was targeting more of minivans, housekeeping, which kept testing. And then in that time frame, let's go from like the 14th to the 20th, us doing this testing, we started finding interest that was working well. So we come in, we see these pets. So I kind of told you exactly, but it makes sense though. You see how pets, cats, dogs, fish, reptilians, that all went together. But the way that we was able to know that that worked was by doing our cold audience and testing. So there's a lot of testing that happens in the beginning, but once we find what works, all we're doing is putting more money into what we identify that works. And that's how we're able to make this big jump from having in 1 week 14 and 1 week, literally from the Monday to the 20th, do $2,000 in sales, to where in the, let's go from like the 21st to the 27th, to do $28,000 in sales. Just because once we identify that worked, we do our stage 3, which is us vertically scaling and what we identify that works. So let's go ahead and look at this. So you see this dog, you see this one had 5 purchases and it had a 4 ROAS. So what do you think I'm gonna do? I'm gonna vertically scale it by putting more money into what we identify that worked. So just to not make this too complicated for you guys, I'm gonna do this one real quick so you guys get an understanding. But just off of these 2 things, a horizontal scale, which is us finding more interest and testing out what works, and then a vertical scale, you can accomplish these type of results because we're just spending $10 a day on each ad set. So just $10 a day on each ad. Of course, we went up on some of them based off how they were doing, but each time we're doing $10, $10, $10, $10. And then once we find it do well by getting 5 purchases or 3 purchases and anything above a 2 ROAS, and for beginners, a return on ad spend means how much we're getting back on our ad. So if I spend, in this case scenario, if I spend $10 on ads and I have a 4 ROAS, that means I'm getting $40 back. So if I spend $100 on ads, what am I going to get? $400 back. So that's why we always need to make sure that it has at least 3 purchases and a good ROAS. Because it does not make sense to put money into something that has a 3 purchases, but the return on ad spend is low. Like, why would I put more money into something that's barely making me money? So that's the mindset behind the ROAS being super important. If it doesn't have 3 purchases and have a good return on ad spend, do not vertically scale it because you'll be putting more money into the wrong thing. But if it looks like this, 5 purchases, and you see you got 4 ROAS, we're good. And we got to this point by just testing and testing, testing more interest, as you see. Every day we was adding 5 new interests based off what was working. But this is what a vertical scale looks like. Once we find what works, all we do is we duplicate it, original setup, into a completely new campaign. So our cold audience is us testing. Once we find what works, we put it into a new campaign so we could then just separate the two and know that we're vertically scaling. So this is what we'll call a vert scale. This is how I like to do it. Tomorrow is the 18th, and I will call it a vert scale. And then I like to put in the interest. So this like pets, stacking all the pets, cats, dogs, fish, reptiles. And then I will put in the name of product. And then voila, I'm duplicating this 10 times into this campaign. This is like a super, so we're basically, I'll tell you why in a second why we're doing it. But the reason we duplicate it 10 times is you see how big this audience is? There's 120 million people in here. 120 million people in here. So whenever we're doing this vertical scale, it's like we're fishing inside of a pond or like we're fishing inside of this lake. And there's so many fish in there. We just want to put the rods. We put 10 rods in there. We gonna catch some fish. We gonna catch the right fish, you know? So that's all we're doing whenever we are doing these 10 interests, because this one might not perform well. Even though it's the same interest, it might not perform well because it might not got the good part of that audience. But this one performs well, so we'll keep it. We'll cut this, keep it. And we're just ultimately looking for that whenever we're doing this. So that's why we do our vertical scale that way. Then I do 10 each, do it for the next day at midnight. I'm not changing nothing else. I'm not changing the ad. I'm not changing like the interest. I'm just putting more money into what we identify that work, and I will publish. This is what we call a vertical scale. This is us putting more money into what we identify that worked. All right, so that is what that is, and I kind of explained why we do that. And we do that across every single one that does good. So we'll do the same thing for this parenting one, do the same thing, maybe for this Amazon one, depends. It was missing purchases, so we'll vertically scale. So we go from spending $100 a day on ads to where we vertically scale. Let's say we vertically scale these 4 ad sets. We put in an extra $400 on ads. Now we're spending $500 a day on ads. And that's how we see this big change, because each and every day we're finding more interest to vertically scale. Each and every day we're horizontally scaling to find more interests that do well. And then boom, that's how in the matter of just 7 days was able to do about $30,000 in sales, because we kept doing our 3 stages of rinse and repeating, of keep finding more interest by horizontal scaling. So keep finding more by just testing more interest based off what's working. And then vertically scaling things that get 3 purchases and a 2.5 ROAS at least. and then we just rinse and repeat. So once we go ahead and vertically scale, which is stage 3, stage 4 is just rinse and repeat in 2 and 3. We rinse and repeat and we're horizontally scaling, and then we vertically scale. So that's how we're able to really get this type of results and see exactly that. So that's really the full breakdown. And if you made it this far into this video, that means you are really into it. And if you are in need of some help or just want some insights from me, of course, down below, I have my links to the First Sales Club. If you're looking to get your first sale, that's specifically for beginners and looking to lean into this, and this is just showing like how to really make this happen. But if you want some more direct help, of course you can apply down below for mentorship to really get things going. But of course, hopefully this gave you some good insights on how to be able to hit these type of numbers, and hopefully this gave you some value, show you the inside. Again, let me share the screen just so you guys can see it. But if you guys got any questions, definitely put them down below. I just wanted to showcase that we're true to this, not new to this. And I hope you got some value from this. Well, y'all have a great one, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.